Hello guys, it's Souryuuoh here with another Bottleman box, and this time we have Random Collection Volume 4. I do have a full set here. I do have all three of them, so just show you what comes in each box, and then of course I'll cut the video for the main part of the video, but yeah. First up here, looks like we have the Golden Dragurt G. So, got the big core, of course, the trigger and stuff. Some of the armor parts, and cardboard. Alright, interesting. Looks like the cap is actually in this bag. Okay, so it's not a separate cap bag. Usually there is. And then here are the stickers and the instructions. Pretty nice sticker sheet, not too much here. Alright, so that's that. Let me move that over there and just move some of the stuff aside. Alright, second box. Don't know if I show the back or not, I'm not sure, just in case here it is, you can see all the pulls. But anyway, here we have, looks like Kouryuuoh. And yeah, it is Kouryuuoh or Rakuso. I will be referring to it as the Japanese name, which is Kouryuuoh. And here is the armor parts, some of the magazine stuff, it's always nice. Core, some of the other armor parts, like the feet and stuff there. Here are the caps. You do get a lot of caps, which is always nice to see. Also the head cap as well. And there's a larger, if I could get that out. Oh, it's fine, actually, I don't really need to. But there's like a really big cardboard piece inside, so for weighting, I guess, but yeah. Now here's the sticker sheets and the instructions and whatnot. So there you go. That is Kouryuuoh, and then that means we have Souryuuoh is the last one, or Bakuso, the English name. But again, we'll be referring to these as the Japanese names. Got some of the armor parts. Looks like I think the barrel as well. Here's the rest of them. Pretty cool. Trigger and hold parts as well. Some of the core parts. There's the cap for the head, the shooting cap plus the weight for it. Yeah, there's another sort of cardboard piece for weighting, another big one, so interesting. And yeah, here's the instructions and stickers. Stickers don't look, they're not looking the best actually, but it is what it is. Alright, anyway, so that's everything from the Random Collection boxes, so I'm going to go ahead and get all this stuff built, stickered up, and I'll come back to talk about all of them and my thoughts on the whole Random Collection. Alright, everything now built and stickered up. So, the full set of Random Collection Volume 4. Unlike my other videos recently, this one's actually not just me being disappointed. There's actually some stuff here I actually kind of like, so we'll get into that. Anyway. Start off with kind of the main just recolor here, and that is going to be Dragurt G Big Rush version. That is the name I've gotten anyway, so here it is. Yes, it is a golden Dragurt, so pretty cool. I mean, I'm not the biggest fan of gold, I'm not going to lie, so it's a little bit weird, but you know what? It doesn't look that bad, I'm fine with it, so... I mean, it's just a recolor anyway, it's in a Random Collection, so I can't complain too much here. It's basically, you have all the armor parts for Dragurt. The core is the Kouryuuoh OG core. Even has the magazine on it as well, so that's actually pretty cool. And here is, of course, the original Dragurt G. So you just kind of tell that these are pretty interesting, so there you go. Just tell the core is way bigger to accommodate these caps here. So anyway, as far as the caps go, you get two of these big cap rings. So you have the gold one, and you also have a blue one, which I'm assuming the blue one is meant to kind of represent Dragurt. So there you go, and I'll also throw in this, just for an example here, the white one with the red here. This is the original Dragurt cap, so you can tell that that slots in three pretty comfortably right there, so there you go. Anyway, this thing is decent. I will say my biggest criticism of this Bottleman is that it doesn't stay upright. You can probably tell that like it wants to tilt back, which I don't like. I wish they maybe would have used something other than the Dragurt feet here, or just added something in the back here to help it out, because as is, it just kind of doesn't like to stay upright. So you kind of, when you're shooting, you kind of almost have to hold it up. This is my favorite thing to do, and it also feels like I have a lot less stability. So maybe swap out the feet if you're going to use this thing for like Kouryuuoh feet or something, or anything else, maybe. I don't know. But yeah, that is kind of an unfortunate criticism. I will say also, again, God cap is God cap, so we always have the quality control problems where the caps just kind of suck to shoot, but at the same time, you know, it's... I've talked about this so much, so yeah, you could just assume that for all these releases at this point, so yeah, anyway. Other than that, though, this is actually a pretty solid recolor, I would say, because here's the thing. I have this thought that God cap got cancelled halfway through, and they just kind of let it ride out with remakes and stuff towards the end. I think Kouryuuoh G was probably planned. I feel like after that they kind of just were like, alright, oh, maybe Battle Phoenix G as well, but after that they're like, alright, we're just gonna can all the new stuff we had and just throw out remakes and recolors, and call it a day and Bottleman after that. And I think that's what they did. I could be wrong, but that's my theory, and if I'm correct, we probably would have gotten a Dragurt Evolution. I think this might have been sort of the replacement, be like, hey, look, we couldn't have all Dragurt, but here's kind of an idea of what we wanted to do, and of course, it does utilize the big cap core. Or whatever we're going to call this core. It is a giant core, which is really cool. Just releasing on a single Bottleman like this, so pretty decent recolor. I actually argue it almost gets to kind of a good tier as well, so that's pretty surprising for a recolor. I usually don't compliment them that much, but yeah, actually a solid choice here, I will say. Moving on, we of course have kind of the pair of Souryuuoh G and Kouryuuoh G, or Bottle Souryuuoh and Bottle Kouryuuoh, whatever you want to call them, but I'll just refer to them as their main names. So anyway, let me zoom out for these two real quick. Here they are kind of as a pair. And of course they are working off of the basis of Kouryuuoh, which, let me fix these real quick, but so yeah, you can tell they are working off of the base of Kouryuuoh, which is pretty neat, I guess. Like, it kind of makes sense for these two, so I mean, that's fine. Similar names and all, anyway. They both have the Kouryuuoh G core, which means it is a kind of full-on multi-step core, kind of the power hold parts, you know, the barrel attachment, the magazine attachment, well, magazine and barrel ports, rather. Arms, legs, head, all Kouryuuoh stuff. Even the barrel and the magazine for each one, again, both, you know, Kouryuuoh. Also, the caps are pretty similar, and then of course the horn here, and holy hell, is that a new mold? Hold on, we gotta zoom in on this one. They made it. They did it. It's a new piece. This is a brand new horn piece. I'm shocked. They've actually molded a new part. Wow. I never thought I'd see a new molded part ever again. I thought they were done. Anyway, to be serious, yeah, they actually did mold a new horn piece for Kouryuuoh G, which is pretty nice. Anyway, so let's just go ahead and talk about each one individually. So first up here we have Souryuuoh G. And yeah, looks pretty good, I would say, for the remake. And I know that we have kind of gotten Kouryuuoh parts before, but we haven't gotten a full-on remake based on Kouryuuoh yet. I guess that's something I can say. We haven't, I mean, we've gotten certain parts, like, again, like, you know, Phoenix had, like, the power arms from it and stuff, but we haven't gotten a proper Kouryuuoh remake, so I can't complain too much here about kind of doubling up on a remake for Bottleman. And, well, there are two remakes of Kouryuuoh, technically, of course, with these two being kind of a pair. Well, they're a pair, so it makes sense, so I'm not gonna complain. Again, I wish we got more than just the remakes here, but, you know, I mean, I've talked about remakes being a problem already. So while, yes, it is unfortunate, I mean, I'm still going to say that these Bottlemen, as Bottlemen, are actually pretty cool. So I actually like the blue they used here as well. Pretty nice blue. I also like the dark blue underneath. You could see on like the cord and stuff. This kind of like light gray is really cool as well. Although, one thing to note, be careful with these cores. They are the Kouryuuoh cores, so I would proceed with a bit of caution when using these. I'll just say that, just to be safe. Of course, if you've seen my video about Kouryuuoh having an issue, you already know that, yeah, the cores are prone to breakage because these arms are very tightly, they fit very tightly onto the core, and the core also like has those bumps on the arm attachment points that just make it hard to take the arms off. So yeah, be careful at least with both this and this. So anyway, yeah, it looks very, very cool with the blue. And I mean, Kouryuuoh was already a pretty cool Bottleman, so getting a remake of it, of course, was going to look pretty solid. You got the barrel here as well, black and gold. That's pretty neat. So yeah, overall, I do think this is a solid looking Bottleman. And then, of course, we get Chouryuuoh, which also looks pretty cool. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention, actually, the cap on Souryuuoh here. If I could get it out. It doesn't want to come out. There we go. It is a lime green cap with a golden weight inside. So yeah, you do get a weighted cap, which is pretty neat. Anyway, moving on to Chouryuuoh. Chouryuuoh looks like this. It's a red version of Chouryuuoh. Looks pretty nice again. I guess you get a better front view of this one, so that's pretty cool. And yeah, there you go. It is a cool looking Bottleman. You got the black and gold magazine. And yes, they actually do give you 4 caps. These are orange speed caps, so that's pretty cool actually. And yeah, the fact that they gave you 4 to actually fill up the magazine actually was a shock to me, so I'm glad that they opted to do that. Usually they don't, but hey, I will take it. It is a nice little bonus. So overall, I actually do like both of these quite a bit, surprisingly. Like, even just for them being remakes, like, yeah, while it is disappointing in a way to not get anything new, they're honestly still pretty solid. I mean, wish Godcap wasn't awful with quality control, which includes the core issues, but again, outside of that stuff and outside of the usual problems that I have, which are always present throughout Godcap, I actually like these two. Okay, let me say, I actually like the remakes, which is something I've been very critical of, but you know what, with these two, actually will give them some credit here. Think they look pretty solid and it worked pretty well overall. Now there of course is a fusion, well, quote unquote fusion, they're not like, it's nothing crazy, but it is a fusion of sorts with these two, which, well, in the English version is known as Bakurakuso, but in the Japanese version it has a fully different name, which is Chouryuuoh. So we can make, I guess, a bottle Chouryuuoh G here. So I'm going to go ahead and get these two ready for the fusion, and I'll show you what it looks like after that's all said and done. Alright, so first up here, we'll get into kind of the leftover Chouryuuoh. I don't know what you want to call it, but here it is. This is just kind of the extra parts left over. Looks kind of bare, but yeah. Just want to show you what you have left over afterwards, I guess. So there you go. Anyway, moving on to the actual Chouryuuoh. What do we get here? We get this. And this is actually pretty cool looking. Of course, have the Kouryuuoh feet and the kind of, since the Kouryuuoh arms are 2 parts, of course you have the main Souryuuoh arms with the Kouryuuoh kind of wing parts. I didn't mention this before, but obviously, yes, you can peg in the kind of, like the small cap shooter that Kouryuuoh has if you want to, but anyway. And of course you use both the barrel and the magazine. Now there's something else you could do if you really want to. If you want to swap out the head cap here for one of these speed caps, you can. And then you can move the horn up on top to kind of one of these slots on the speed cap, and then put the Kouryuuoh horn here, and then again the Souryuuoh horn goes up there. It bothers me a lot more than it should, so I don't like how it looks, but I am letting you know, yes, it is something you can do. Anyway, so yeah, here is a proper Chouryuuoh, though. So Chouryuuoh looking pretty nice, actually. I actually do like how this one looks. Pretty interesting to have both red and blue. I feel like you just don't see color schemes like that anymore. It definitely just kind of screams, early 2000s, which is when Battle Beat'em was going on, so yeah. Also kind of looking closer and closer to, I'll take off the small cap shooter here, looking very close to Kouryuuoh. Although I did take this part off, let me put this back on. There we go. So yeah, you don't get the small cap shooter or the power type arms from this, but if you get both these pulls, you can sort of get closer to making a Kouryuuoh, which is kind of neat, I guess. Anyway, so yeah, that is Chouryuuoh. Definitely a cool Bottleman, regardless. I mean, this is the closest thing we're getting to a Godcap fusion, by the way. It looks like we just aren't going to get any more Godcap stuff from it, looks like, and yeah, kind of unfortunate, but well, this isn't really the Godcap fusion I would have wanted, but it is the closest thing we got, and I guess I will take it, because again, it does look cool enough. So I'll go ahead and unfuse these and kind of give my final thoughts on the random collection as a whole. So here they all are. I swear these are kind of like meant to be paired together and symmetrical, but the barrel makes this one look like it's sticking out way further than it really is. Trust me, they're about the same distance apart. Anyway, really stupid thing to point out, but whatever. Random Collection Volume 4, what do I think of it? I gave a lot of praise to it, obviously, because again, I know Godcap has just been a struggle to get through, and it's been a lot of negativity, so I will say overall, I think that this random collection is mid. So yeah, I did give a lot of positivity, but at the same time, Godcap is Godcap. There's a lot of issues here. There's no real new stuff here. Again, I mean, listen, we do get the new Kouryuuoh G horn here. That's a nice touch, but it's still just like a very small thing overall. There's nothing really, really new. And I will say, you know, Bottleman has always struggled giving us new stuff with random collections. Or maybe not struggle, maybe they just don't want to, but yeah. It's just one of those things though where it's like, is this really necessary? Do we need this? That's debatable. Now, my Random Collection Volume 3 video, I did say that anything should be a step up from that. And I will say, yes, this is better than Random Collection Volume 3. No doubt about that. That was awful. So, it is decent enough. And now, is it better than Random Collection Volumes 1 or 2? Well, I would say it's not as good as Volume 2. Volume 2 definitely had a lot more stuff going for it. Again, you had like the dual type course. That was really cool. Kind of the first way you could get those without, making an illegal customization. So that was cool. I mean, yeah, Valhas wasn't very original. It just had like the new head, so it wasn't that crazy. But it was more of a new part than anything here, so that's that. I guess its main competition is Random Collection Volume 1. I feel like 1 and 4, they're kind of just having their own little mid-off. They're both just there. But I think between the two, I'd actually place Volume 4 above it, because I do think Dual Gold wasn't really that original either. Yeah, it had like new arms, legs, and feet, but again, the arms and legs weren't doing anything really interesting. The feet were just there. The arms were like there. I mean, they had the whole Aquasports magazine thing going for them, but well, Aquasports already did that, and it didn't come with a magazine anyway, so who cares? The head, well, not the head, because they didn't have actual headpieces, but like the head crest, or whatever you want to call it, that was new, but again, it wasn't that crazy. And while, yeah, there's technically new parts there, more of them than there are here, so it's, I guess, a plus for it. But again, those bottom were just so much more simplistic, they weren't as interesting. And I feel like these, I mean, they're remakes, but they're at least kind of more interesting, I would say, overall. And plus, this guy, I mean, it's not an evolution of Dragurt, but it's like the closest thing we're going to get, and it's at least like an attempt to show what, I guess, direction maybe they wanted to go with Dragurt, I'm assuming anyway. Again, I'm assuming that they are kind of doing this because they were probably going to make a Dragurt evolution, but again, I really do believe that they just canned the line halfway through and just gave us whatever they could for the releases that they had already slotted, so I don't know. Or they just didn't want to do it and we're just like, yeah, here's a recolor that's like kind of cool. I don't know. But yeah, overall, it's okay. The Dragurt recolor, kind of unfortunate we didn't just get a straight up new Dragurt at some point. Hell, even if you want to call this a Dragurt evolution in this random collection with the proper color scheme, maybe have a new part or two somewhere, but it's like kind of fine, I guess, but it's not the best. It's here. It's a recolor, it's pretty cool though, and then of course Souryuuoh and Kouryuuoh are both they're both remakes, so they're, I mean, for remakes, I think they're actually really good. Like, really good. I argue these are actually the two best remakes we've gotten so far. I genuinely think that they are the best remakes we've gotten, so, that's some pretty solid praise, because I've been pretty harsh on remakes, but, That aside, I think that they are also they're decent. I would say, even though the remakes, I still think that they are decent overall. So yeah, this whole random collection, there's nothing really crazy or interesting to get. Should you buy this random collection? Honestly, probably not. Unless you didn't get Kouryuuoh or Cola OG and you're just looking to get some parts out of it, then maybe. But at the same time, it's like the random. If you want confirmed stuff, you have to buy a full set anyway. So at that point, just probably buy those instead. Honestly, but yeah, I think if you want collection, if you want stuff for collection, especially these two being remakes, I think that this is a pretty solid purchase. And I actually picked up the whole full set for $50, which for full sets, by the way, that's actually a pretty good price because it was like $100, I think, for Volume 1, 120 for Volume 2, and I think I paid 140 for Volume 3. Very expensive regardless. Those were not fun to get, but this one was only $50, so solid price. So if you're looking to pick something like this up, I think it is decent. And yeah, definitely the best December product. I would say definitely the best thing we've gotten since Cola OG a few months back. So pretty solid product all around. I do actually kind of like it for the most part. I mean, again, random collections are always a little bit weird. There's nothing really new in them a lot of the time. So for that, and kind of going in knowing that, I think I'm actually pleasantly surprised here that they did give us some solid remakes and recolors. Well, remakes and recolor, but whatever. Also, with the amount of remakes we've gotten, I honestly think it was a very smart choice to only go with 3 Bottlemen in here rather than trying to bump this up to 4 or even 5. We've gotten recolors of everything else too many times at this point because of remakes, and also, well, unless they want to go as Cola OG parts, but I know they probably weren't, aside from the core. That was already enough of a surprise anyway, so, yeah, so, overall, I think this is actually a decent product. I just don't think there's a whole big reason to get it. It's not that crazy. I'm just surprised that we actually got some decent remakes and a random collection that I didn't immediately hate without having it, even come with anything properly new. So yeah, it actually ends up being, in my opinion, a pretty surprisingly good product for Godcap standards at least. I think overall it's still pretty decent, but yeah, it's something. It's better than what we've been getting, so I'll give it some credit there. But yeah, those are my thoughts on this random collection. Let me know what you think of it. Do you think I was actually not nice enough to it? Do you think it's like the best one we've ever gotten? Or do you think that I was way too nice and that this product is just terrible? Or more likely something in between? More likely actually just probably maybe an extra complaint or compliment you want to give it. Something like that. Whatever. Anything works. So yeah, let me know your thoughts on it because this one is pretty interesting. Because I know random collections are kind of oddball, man. Again, not having a lot of new parts and stuff, so yeah, let me know what you think about that and this one and all that fun stuff. So anyways, yeah, thanks for watching, and bye-bye.